When we're still in high school, the idea of going to college usually comes with a ready-made image. We imagine a modern campus, a huge library, a group of friends from all over, interesting classes, and, of course, freedom. Lots of freedom. If you've ever watched any American comedy set in college, you know what I'm talking about. For many people, studying abroad is the ultimate dream, and when it comes to studying in Dubai, the image becomes even more exaggerated. Glass buildings, air-conditioned classrooms, desert views, and a campus that looks like the set of a futuristic movie. A city where the police patrol in Lamborghinis, where the mall has a ski slope, and where you can buy gold from a vending machine. But living in Dubai as a student is a different story. Yes, there is all that glamour. But there is also a heavy routine, strict cultural rules, a high cost of living, and people juggling to pay the rent. Dubai has become one of the largest university hubs in the Middle East. It attracts people from all over the world. But is the experience as perfect as it seems? Where do these students live? How much do they spend? How do they study? And what do they face on a daily basis? Today, Bello Mundo will show you what real life is like for those who choose to study in Dubai, and I can tell you in advance, it's not what it seems. Number 1. Student Hub. Dubai is that city that everyone has seen pictures of, whether in TikTok videos, luxury vlogs, or articles about the most extravagant places in the world. But this same city also has workers living in cramped lodgings, forgotten neighborhoods on the outskirts, and a stark contrast between appearance and reality. In fact, here on the channel, we've already shown both sides. It's worth watching the video. Dubai. What is it like to live in Dubai without limits, pure luxury and ostentation, and also our visit to the poor side of the city in the video? Dubai, the dark side. The Dubai they don't want you to see or know. But incredible as it may seem, the city has also become one of the largest centers of higher education in the Middle East. Today, more than half of the university students there come from abroad, people from over 150 different countries. There are Brazilians, Spaniards, Americans, Filipinos, Indians, Nigerians, Egyptians, everyone trying to live a normal university life in a place that is far from ordinary. Some study at branches of famous universities from other countries, like the University of Birmingham, which came from the United Kingdom and set up a campus in Dubai, or Heriot-Watt, another British university focused on engineering and business. There is also the American University in Dubai, which follows the model of universities in the United States and is one of the most traditional in the city. In addition to these, new colleges focused on the future have emerged. There are courses dedicated solely to artificial intelligence, innovation, and startups. In some cases, the campus doesn't even look like a college. One example is Tet University, located inside the Dubai World Trade Center, a huge building in the city center that houses offices of companies from around the world. Almost all courses are taught in English. The teachers come from various countries, and the class is always full of accents. The content is global, and the goal is to train people to work around the world. It seems like the ideal scenario. However, to experience all this, students need to be able to keep up. Because along with this modern package comes an expensive city, full of rules, and not made for those who make mistakes. And then comes the question, what is it like to live in Dubai as a student? Where do you live? Who do you share a room with? How do you manage to pay rent and food every day? That's what we're going to look at now. Number 2. Housing. The first big question for anyone going to study abroad is, where am I going to live? And in Dubai, that question carries extra weight. Because the city is beautiful, modern, organized, but also expensive. Very expensive. For starters, not every university has its own dorms, and those that do can't always accommodate everyone. Most international students need to find housing on their own, and that's where the juggling begins. Many end up in Academic City, an area away from downtown Dubai, designed solely to house colleges, research centers, and student-oriented residential buildings. There, rents are a little more affordable, and there is already a basic infrastructure with grocery stores, gyms, and university transportation. But don't expect luxury. In general, dormitories are simple buildings with 4 or 5 floors and shared rooms, 2 per room at least, sometimes 3 or 4. Each has a bed, a small table, a closet, and a piece of the refrigerator. Bathrooms and kitchens are shared. There is no one to clean or ready-made food waiting. If you want to eat, you have to cook. Some manage to find a place in private residences, such as Uninest Dubai Land or the Myriad. These buildings have more structure: communal kitchen, games room, gym, study room, security. But the price goes up. Rents range from 2,700 to 4,000 dirhams per month. That easily exceeds 5,000 reals. Those who can't afford it have to share an apartment or rent a room in distant neighborhoods. And that's where the contrast hits you. Students spend their days in a glass building with panoramic views, cutting-edge technology, and the comfort of air conditioning, but sleep in a hothouse with people they barely know. But if living is a challenge, getting around this city is not as simple as it seems either. Number 3. Transportation. Dubai has a modern transportation system: automatic subways, air-conditioned buses, wide roads. But almost none of this was designed with students in mind. The city is geared toward tourism and business. Those who live and study there need to adapt. Those who live near universities in the central region can walk or take a direct bus line. But those who live in the southern part of the city or in more remote neighborhoods need to wake up early to catch the charter buses. They pass through strategic points and drop students off at the college door. It works, but if you miss the bus, you're out of luck. Another option is the metro. It is clean, efficient, fast, and driverless. However, not every campus is close to a station. In many more remote areas, students need to combine the subway with buses or face a long walk under the scorching sun. And in Dubai, the heat is no joke. To escape this, many people get around by carpooling. One friend picks up another, or a group organizes to share an Uber. But this only works when everyone lives in the same direction and is close enough to trust each other. And the contrast is always visible. While some arrive sweaty on the chartered bus, others park luxury cars with the air conditioning on full blast. And it's not just local students. There are Europeans with everything paid for, Indians from wealthy families, and Americans on elite exchange programs. While some calculate how much to top up their transport card, others don't even know how much the subway costs. In the midst of all this, the average student learns to get by. They try different routes, save change, and plan their schedule with precision. Because in Dubai, getting around requires more than just infrastructure. It requires strategy. Number 4. Food and cost of living. As we mentioned at the beginning of the video, if there's one thing that weighs heavily in Dubai, it's the cost of living. Because Dubai is very expensive, and if there's one thing that weighs heavily on any cost of living, it's food. There's no shortage of options. Universities have cafeterias with dishes from all over the world: Arabic, Indian, Chinese, American food. You can eat shawarma, biryani, hamburgers, or lasagna. And in shopping malls, food courts have everything. But all of this comes at a price. A simple lunch costs 30 or 40 dirhams, which is between $10 and $12 per meal. Now imagine doing that every day. That's why many people cook. In dormitories, there is almost always a shared kitchen, and there it becomes routine. A quick rice dish, pasta with sardines, a communal omelette. It's not gourmet, but it gets the job done. There are also those who pool their money with classmates and buy groceries together. Rice, oil, eggs, frozen chicken. Everything goes into the same cupboard. Some students live on 100 dirhams a week, which is about $20. They survive by cooking at home. Others take turns. One day they eat out, the next they cook, and the next they resort to cup noodles. And so it goes. But the cost of living goes beyond food. There's rent, transportation, health insurance, supplies, visas, tuition. Everything is expensive. Those who don't have a full scholarship have to budget even to go out on the weekend. Even so, there are those who make the most of it. They go to the public beach, get their friends together for a night picnic, go to the movies at a discount, or use their college card to get into free events. Living on a shoestring in Dubai requires flexibility, but those who learn get by. And money is only part of the equation, because in addition to paying the bills, you have to study. And the academic routine there is another story. Number 5. University routine. Anyone who thinks that studying in Dubai is just walking around beautiful buildings and taking selfies with futuristic backgrounds can forget it. The university routine here is really tough. The semester is heavy. There are theory classes, practical classes, presentations, group work, final projects, and exams. All together with little room to breathe. Universities follow the British or American calendar, with classes in English and applied content. The professors come from all over the world, and many have worked at companies such as Google, Amazon, and several others. There are marketing courses that require real campaigns, engineering with prototypes in the lab, business courses that require pitches as if they were for real investors. And there are also those who study artificial intelligence, programming, medicine, fashion, and design. There is a lot of variety, but the demands are also high. The classrooms are modern, air-conditioned, and well-equipped. Some universities operate in commercial buildings on the same floor as real companies. Others have large campuses with libraries, study rooms, cafeterias, and social areas. It looks nice on the outside, but it's very demanding on the inside. The tests are difficult, the assignments are long, and the deadlines are tight. And the environment is competitive. You share a classroom with people from 30 different countries. Some students have spoken English since they were children, attended international schools, and arrived with technical experience. Comparisons are inevitable. During breaks, the hallways fill up. There are students glued to their laptops, groups rehearsing presentations, people eating on the run, and others are just trying to breathe. Studying in Dubai isn't just about memorizing content, it's about applying, presenting, and defending ideas, often in another language, in a country with a different culture. That's why everyone finds their own way to survive. And there are those who go further, who turns pressure into fuel for entrepreneurship, and that's what we're talking about now. Number 6. University entrepreneurship. Some students do the basics, while others turn their college work into real business. In Dubai, entrepreneurship while studying is no exception. It's part of the university culture. Institutions encourage and often require students to think like entrepreneurs. Instead of handing in a PowerPoint presentation at the end of the semester, the challenge is to create a business plan, develop a product, or test an idea that works in real life. There are courses where only those who manage to generate revenue pass. Some campuses, such as TETR University, which we mentioned at the beginning, operate within shopping centers. This changes everything. Students share the building with real companies and present projects as if they were professionals in the market. The final project may be to launch an app, sell a product, or set up a service. Those who achieve their goals receive scholarships, awards, or even space to expand their business. And this doesn't just happen in business courses. Engineering student presents prototype. Fashion students launch their own brand. A culinary student sells lunch boxes in the dormitory. Some create online tutoring channels, set up modest clothing stores, or offer design services. Of course, not everyone becomes an entrepreneur before graduating. Many people still leave college straight into the job market. But the environment is stimulating. There are innovation fairs, incubators, mentoring, and pitch competitions with prizes. At some institutions, performance is measured in profit, not grades. Studying in Dubai is also training to be an entrepreneur. Those who manage to balance study with action can leave college with a diploma in one hand and a working business in the other. Now that we've shown how some people take advantage of opportunities and even start businesses within the university, the next step is to show the other side of the coin. Number 7. Difficulties. Not everyone who arrives in Dubai with a suitcase full of plans manages to stay the course, and this is more common than it seems. The city is impressive, the buildings are modern, the system works, and the sun shines almost every day. But once the charm wears off, reality sets in. And then the silent selection process begins between those who adapt and those who end up giving up. The heat is one of the first shocks. It seems like a minor detail, but it's not. For much of the year, the temperature easily exceeds 45 degrees Celsius. Walking to the bus stop becomes a punishment, and some people can't sleep at night, even with the fan on. The academic routine is also daunting. Classes require participation, reading in English, and constant assignments. Some students come from traditional schools where memorization was enough. In Dubai, you have to interpret, create, and argue. And not everyone can keep up with this pace. The language is more difficult than expected. Even with basic English, living 100% in another language is tiring. Some people understand everything but freeze up when it comes to speaking. They study twice as hard and still feel behind their classmates. And then there's the culture shock, which is real. Dubai is modern, but it follows conservative rules. Kissing in public is frowned upon. Short clothes are avoided. Dorms are divided by gender. At some universities, even visits to the dorm rooms are not allowed. Women feel this more strongly. Whether it's in the looks, the gestures, or the general atmosphere, there is pressure that is not always spoken, but it is felt. When you put it all together, fatigue sets in. The heat, the language, the pace, the loneliness, the cost, the social codes. Some people go home before the first year is over. Number 8. The future. Studying in Dubai can open doors. Some students leave the classroom and go straight to a startup. Others get internships at multinational companies or extend their visas before graduating. But that doesn't mean the path is guaranteed. Having an international degree helps a lot, but it doesn't solve everything. The market is competitive, the cost of living remains high, and staying in the country legally is not always easy. Without a visa, you can't work. And without work, you can't stay. For many people, the end of college is the beginning of new doubts. Stay or go back? Try for a new visa. Try your luck in another country with what you learned here. Some return fulfilled, with a strong resume, international contacts, and an open mind. Others return frustrated, with debts, family obligations, and the feeling that they didn't make the most of their time. But even in these cases, almost no one says that the experience was in vain. Ultimately, being a university student in Dubai is an experiment in the future. It's a mixture of privilege and pressure, opportunity and uncertainty. A summary of the real world lived there, semester by semester. If you thought that studying in Dubai was all glamour, campus swimming pools, and pretty videos on Instagram, now you know that the story is much more complex. Yes, there is luxury, there is global networking, cutting-edge technology, and high-level professors. But there is also hardship, pressure, culture shock, and many students doing magic to make ends meet. And now I want to hear from you. After all this, would you consider studying in Dubai? Or do you think this model of global education isn't for everyone? Tell us in the comments, share this video with anyone who dreams of studying abroad, and of course, leave a like if you enjoyed the journey. Because in the next episode, we might take you to an even more unexpected place in our beautiful world. See you then.